Some places on Earth are so extreme, so unforgiving, so dangerous, that just being there feels like tempting fate. And yet, believe it or not, people actually live in these places. Whether it's freezing cold, boiling hot, poisonous high in the mountains, or deep below the surface. Today we're diving into 15 places where humans were never meant to live, but somehow they do. Let's begin. 15. La Rinconada, Peru, the world's highest city. Let's start at the top. Literally. La Rinconada is the highest permanently inhabited place on Earth, sitting over 16,700 feet above sea level in the Peruvian Andes. At that height, the air is so thin that oxygen levels are dangerously low, breathing is hard, headaches are common, and if you stay too long without adjusting, you can actually die from altitude sickness. But here's the twist. Over 30,000 people live here, mostly working in harsh, unregulated gold mines. Living conditions? Extremely poor. Temperature? Freezing cold all year. And yet, this is home. 14. Dalol, Ethiopia. Like living on another planet. Now let's go from the highest to one of the hottest. Dalol, in Ethiopia, is known as one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. The landscape looks like something from Mars, with neon yellow acid pools, toxic gas vents, and salt formations. The average annual temperature? Over 34 degrees C, 94 degrees Fahrenheit. But it's not just hot, it's corrosive, toxic, and isolated. You'd think no one would live here, but a few nomadic salt miners still do. For real, humans weren't meant to live here, but some still survive. 13. Oymyakon, Russia, the coldest inhabited place on Earth. Welcome to the Ice Kingdom, Oymyakon, in Siberia. Temperatures here can drop to minus 67 degrees C, 89 degrees Fahrenheit. That's so cold your eyelashes freeze, your phone shuts down. Your car has to be kept running 24/7 or it simply won't start again. Yet, around 500 people live here permanently. No central heating, no nearby cities. Just snow, frost, and pure survival. 12. Kowloon Walled City, Hong Kong Historical, a human beehive. While it no longer exists, Kowloon Walled City was once the densest human settlement in history. Imagine 50,000 people living in a space the size of just a few city blocks. Buildings stacked on top of each other, no sunlight, no proper plumbing, streets, more like tunnels, hallways, dark, narrow, endless. It was chaotic, lawless, and nearly impossible to govern. This place was never meant for human life, but people built it anyway. 11. Dasht Ilut, Iran, Earth's hottest surface. The Lut Desert holds the record for the hottest surface temperature ever recorded, over 159 degrees Fahrenheit degrees. 10. Norilsk, Russia, a toxic icebox. Welcome to Norilsk, a city inside the Arctic Circle, built on frozen ground. But that's not what makes it scary. Norilsk is also one of the most polluted cities on the planet. Why? Because it's home to massive metal smelting plants, producing toxic clouds of sulfur dioxide. The air is so bad that trees don't grow for miles. But over 170,000 people still live here, working tough industrial jobs in freezing, toxic air. 9. The Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, Ukraine. Life after radiation. After the 1986 nuclear disaster, the area around Chernobyl was declared uninhabitable for the next 20,000 years. But guess what? Some people moved back. Known as self-settlers, these elderly locals returned to their homes despite radiation warnings. They grow food, raise animals, and live peacefully in what is essentially a ghost zone. Doctors say it's risky, but to them, it's home. 8. Mawsynram, India, the wettest place on Earth. Ever feel annoyed by too much rain? Try living in Mawsynram, a village that gets around 470 inches of rain per year. That's 40 feet of water every year. It rains almost every day. Houses are made of stone, roofs are extra thick, and people carry massive leaf umbrellas. You'd think nature would wash this place away, but life finds a way. 7. Motuo, China, the village with no roads. Motuo is one of the last places in China not connected by any road. To reach it, you have to walk through dense forest for days, cross rivers, and hike mountains. And when landslides happen, you're cut off. Still, thousands live here, farming, raising animals, and living simply. Modern life? Not here. But they survive, just like their ancestors did. 6. Furnace Creek, Death Valley, USA. Heat that can kill. Death Valley holds one of the highest air temperatures ever recorded, 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 56.7 degrees Celsius. And Furnace Creek is one of the few spots where people live in this blistering desert. Shade barely exists. Water evaporates before it touches the ground, and summers are nearly unbearable. But still, there's a tiny community here. They work in tourism and park services, proving that some people can live even in places designed to kill. 5. Ilha da Queimada Grande, Brazil, Snake Island. This place is so dangerous, the government has banned people from visiting without permission. Why? Because it's home to thousands of venomous snakes, including the golden lancehead, one of the deadliest vipers in the world. Estimates say there's one snake for every square meter. Still, a few researchers and lighthouse keepers have lived there. Not for long, of course. 4. Barrow, Utqiagvik, Alaska. Months without sun. How would you feel about 2 months of darkness? That's what happens every winter in Barrow, the northernmost city in the US. The sun sets in late November and doesn't rise again until late January. Temperatures are brutal. Wind chills are dangerous. But over 4,000 people call this frozen, dark town their home. 3. Verkhoyansk, Russia. Heat and cold extremes. You've heard of hot places, you've heard of cold places, but Verkhoyansk is both. In winter it drops to -60 degrees Celsius. In summer, it climbs to over 38 degrees Celsius. That's a swing of almost 100 degrees in the same year. Despite that, people live, farm, and raise families here. It's one of the most extreme climates where life still exists. 2. Floating villages on Tonle Sap Lake, Cambodia. These aren't just houses by the water, they're houses on the water. Entire communities float on Cambodia's largest lake. Schools, stores, even churches, all built on wooden platforms or boats. When the lake rises in the rainy season, the village floats with it. No land, no roads, just water everywhere. It's peaceful, but unpredictable, and definitely not easy. 1. The slums of Tondo, Manila, Philippines, survival against all odds. And finally, we visit one of the densest slum areas in the world, Tondo, in Manila. Hundreds of thousands of people live in tiny, crowded homes. Many don't have running water, proper sanitation, or reliable electricity. Disease is common. Jobs are rare. But still, there's life here. Kids go to school. Families cook together. People help each other survive. This place may seem unlivable, but to many, it's the only home they've ever known. So what makes a place unlivable? Is it the temperature, the danger, the isolation, or is it something else, like the human spirit that refuses to give up? These 15 places prove one thing. Humans are survivors. We adapt, we endure, we build lives, even in the harshest corners of the world. Because in the end, home isn't always about comfort. Sometimes, it's just where we decide to stay and fight to keep going. Which of these places shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a new episode of the world's most mind-blowing facts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.